We had a great next play mentality. Wasn't a perfect game. None of these games are going to be perfect. Got contributions from a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and made enough winning plays despite the turnovers and the offensive rebounds.
LeBron has said in the past that sometimes game one can be a feel-out game, but tonight was a little bit, on the court, was a little bit more focused, like he kind of understood the moment and what needed to happen. What did you see from him throughout and just kind of leading through the game?
Yeah, I mean, he displayed great leadership throughout, and I think, we talked all week, about being connected offensively and trusting the pass, and he led us there in the first half, getting 10 assists, and then was able to make some scoring plays down the stretch. Just a fantastic overall game from him, and he gave us all he had on the defensive end. I mean, he really exerted himself on both ends, and that's what the playoffs are.
JJ, I don't want to make any assumptions, but I assume a fair chunk of your time this past week was building a defense that was going to try to stop or slow down Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you're not going to stop Kevin Durant.
How much of an adjustment, to go back to my question about adaptability earlier, was it for you and your staff to kind of figure out what you were going to do once you guys got the KD news? And then I guess, what did it say about your team's ability to kind of take that and put it into application?
Yeah, I don't think it affected our mentality. Again, this is all we've talked about for 2 months, is just our playoff mentality, and it's you can't worry about who's in or out of a lineup. It's our game plan, it's our standards, it's how we play, and we've built towards that. And I thought our guys just responded well and met the moment. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You got to meet the moment in every game, and they were able to do that. There's a lot that you have to do with Kevin, and you just kind of scrap that and you move on to all the other stuff we worked on.
You were asked about offensive pace earlier in the week. You mentioned that you prefer intentionality as the word. How much could you feel that intentionality in terms of not just what you guys ran offensively, but how you guys were running it, and how much of that gets carried through for the remainder of the game?
Yeah, we did a good job. I think the guys that were handling versus pressure overall did a nice job of getting us organized, and we ran a lot of the stuff we wanted to run, and we got a lot of good stuff. When we did shoot the ball, we were efficient. We missed some free throws, but again, this is going to be, can we take care of the ball? Over the course of 7 games, can we take care of the ball, and can we limit their offensive rebounds?
JJ, when it comes to meet the moment, Luke Kennard seemed to do that. What did you like about his performance and his overall mindset game tonight?
Yeah, I just like that he was aggressive shooting threes. I mean, he played a fantastic basketball game, but a couple shots that he's hesitated on or got to the next thing. I mean, he just played really aggressive tonight and did a nice job. I mean, I don't know what our overall numbers were, but we came in at halftime and we had one of our highest paint touch rates of the entire season, and his ability to just kind of get to the next thing and turn the corner on off-ball stuff and touch the paint for us, and it just there's a snowball effect to that. We played a really good game.
JJ, that was a really controlled and disciplined offensive night for you guys, almost the entire night, outside of a couple minutes leading into the halftime.
Yeah,
was there a message to kind of correct whatever happened?
Yeah, a lot of those were in transition. I mean, 6 were in the last 5 minutes, and we had, I think, 4 possessions in a row, 3 of which were in transition. And we want to look for transition opportunities, but we can also slow it down and execute and get what we want. We don't have to force them. Some of the turnovers at the end, I'll take some. I guess I don't really, but I guess I'll take some onus on that because I didn't have the extra timeout, but I was supposed to because Tyler didn't give it to me when I got the first challenge right. So we'll get clarification from the league on that.
JJ, I think Houston got 20 more shots in the paint attempts than you guys. They only made 2 more overall. How much credit do you give to your defense for just Houston's poor efficiency in the paint offensively, and how much more are you concerned with limiting them getting?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still things we can clean up just in terms of our particularly early offense. Our compact shell, and we did a good job of. I know they took free throws, but we did a good job of contesting those 6 to 8 foot shots without fouling and using our length. I thought, DA, Jackson, Braun, Rui, Vanda, all those guys, Jake, just getting a contest is super important.
JJ, speaking to that, just what did you think overall of the defensive performance from DA and kind of the energy that he brought to this game today?
He was great. I think he was great on both ends. Again, we're at our best when he's playing at a high level.
Oh, I was going to ask about DA.
Anything else you want to ask?
Anything else? Oh, I guess with the defensive rebounding, what did you see? Because you said earlier in the week that you knew that they're going to get offensive rebounds. It's part of their profile, but
yeah.
What could you do better on that end?
Well, I think they normally always have one of their athletic wings, and it's usually Thompson down in the dunker, particularly on paint shots. A lot of times teams that are high volume 3-point shooters that also crash, i.e. Golden State, i.e. Phoenix, those teams, they're crashing from the perimeter. A lot of times they're crashing within a very compact shell, and so it makes it difficult. I think, we've just got to continue to be physical, and we had a number of really good possessions. And if they're missing, there's naturally going to be. You go to at halftime, they had, I think, 7 offensive rebounds on 26 missed shots, and so that's well below their season average for offensive rebound rate. So we did a good job in the first half. I think that and the turnovers from the second quarter on is really where we kind of got mucky with the game. Thanks, guys.
Alpre 6 for 19, Jabari 5 for 14, and I'm in 7 for 18. Obviously, that shows why we shot 37%. I don't think outside of Tari, anybody had a really good shooting night in general. And so not his best, not our best in general offensively. And, we can take advantage of some things that we didn't do as well tonight. Got a little stagnant at times, hunting our own shots. And that was kind of everybody kind of fell victim to that.
Kevin being a late scratch, where do you think his absence was most felt, where he could have made a bigger difference?
Efficiency and consistent scoring. On a nightly basis, he shoots that at a good high clip, and doesn't have too many nights like this struggling wise with all the young guys, and so kind of calms you down, run certain sets through him, draw attention, and kind of feed off him at times. But regardless if he's back or not, if we shoot that poorly, it's going to be tough to win.
You talk about guys missing a lot of shots. Is that a function of not getting good enough looks, or did you like the looks again and they just didn't convert?
Some decent looks, but some we got a little bit too stagnant hunting our own shots. And when we did touch the paint and had some kickouts, especially early in the first quarter, first half, we got really good looks. But got to have a plan on our drives. Understand that they collapse the paint, and felt like we had too many contested shots in the crowd at the rim over 1 or 2 people when we had outlets there. And so a little bit of both. I think got some decent looks. Like I said, in transition, it felt like we didn't convert the opportunities we had, but. Shooting in the crowd instead of finding guys kind of doomed us.
With Kevin being a late scratch, what is the difficulty in trying to find the right rotation of guys to play? It looks like you're trying to mix and match to find that right rotation, but how difficult is it when he's such a late scratch? I
don't think it was a surprise to us. We knew he got banged up, and we looked at a bunch of different things without him. If he could go, he could go, but it looked doubtful, based on how he's moving the last few days. And so we prepped for it, different lineups without him, and alternative starting lineups if he wasn't available. And so late to everybody publicly, but we knew there might be a good chance he was out.
What did you think of Tari's performance, and what did he add tonight?
Yeah, I think he got it going late a little bit. Got some foul trouble early, and offensively, his numbers look great: 7 for 7, 2 for 3. But I think in general, insert yourself in transition. We missed some easy ones, and guys missing him as well. But it was across the board. A lot of easy opportunities left on the table. It felt like have a 2-point game at half, and then have it in striking range a lot of the night before they went on that late run. We weren't playing our best at all, and felt like we could have obviously taken advantage of some opportunities that we missed.
Those 2 middle quarters, it felt like the offense really slowed down the most. What did you kind of see during that stretch of the game where you were kind of lacking on that end?
Like I said, missed conversion attempts in transition, some easy looks that guys usually make. But, it felt like we 19 to 17 in that second quarter. We didn't score a ton, but we guarded much better, obviously, to hold them 17 points. But if we could take advantage and, convert some baskets, we'd obviously be not at a deficit. We were down 2 going into the half, and so had opportunities. It felt like we want to come out in the second half and kind of convert those, and then struggle a little bit there in the third quarter as well.
With Albie, it seemed like he found some success when posting up, but a lot of his opportunities seemed like isolating. What's the balance on trying to get him the ball in those 2 different spots?
Yeah, I mean, he understands, and we understand that they're going to flood, and I think we need to be a little more patient with that. I think 2 of his 3 early turnovers were kind of rushing it. The skip pass that went out of bounds, and the turnover where he traveled early. You just got to invite that and face up and survey, and we know that's how they guard, and kind of went over that, and so. Don't go away from being a facilitator in the post. I think at times guys get discouraged if they take away a certain thing, and that can be beneficial for us. And so we don't want as much isolation on the perimeter, where they're loaded up. Invite the doubles like we have all year, and what we've drilled behind it, we should get decent shots out of it as long as we don't turn it over.
Coach, how much of this would be just about moving on to the next game? Going back, seeing what worked, what didn't work, but fleshing this out of your system and moving on to game 2.
I mean, there are some, but there are some things like I said, we left on the table. Didn't do as well as we could have, and opportunities missed, and whether that's just converting some of the easy shots, but at the same time, it felt like we weren't at our best, and I don't know if it's deer in the headlight type thing. We got some young guys out there, but they've been out there not their first time, and so when you kind of struggle across the board like that, I think guys, some nerves might have been there a little bit, but we got to flush that part of it and bounce back on Tuesday.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.